Hello and welcome to another rant. This is my fourth time going to Home Depot on the way to the renovation property. I've been to the renovation property every single day since Memorial Day 2025. Whenever I go to Home Depot, I use a credit card that I opened just for the purposes of renovating this house. The reason I did that is because I got a 18 month, either 18 months or 21 months, whatever the Wells Fargo Reflect Visa promotion is right now, no interest. Now you still have to pay your minimum monthly payment, obviously, but I think it's only like 10% of the total balance on the card. Anyways, I've been to Home Depot 4 times on the way to the trailer, or on the way to the property, to the house, and this is the second time that the cashier has taken the opportunity for me to select that I want an emailed and a printed receipt away from me. Now, I'll go to a cashier if I have big stuff to buy, like sheet goods, like I bought those 4x8 sheets of plywood, and I think I bought some 2x4s previously, and it's just I buy big stuff, and when you buy big stuff, it's kind of hard to maneuver around the self checkout. And every time I go to a cashier, I select that I want an emailed receipt before I even put my card in. Now, I would think that it goes without saying that if I select that I want an emailed receipt, that the cashier would see something on their screen that say, oh, this guy wants an emailed receipt. So when you put your card in, the register asks the cashier, hey, does this customer want an emailed and printed receipt or just a printed receipt? Now, if the cashier is an ass and doesn't wait for you to make that selection on your side, then they just immediately press just printed receipt. Now, I've gone through the trouble of linking my email to the credit card that I'm using for this renovation, so that I have the receipts for every single purchase that I make, because it's really important for accounting purposes. You're doing it for a business. I'm not just pissing away money and it's like, oh, we'll see if we make money. It's like, no, this is a calculated venture. When I'm done, like, I'm pretty damn sure I'm gonna make money, but I want to know exactly how much money we made, and in order to do that, I have to account for like all the things, all the materials that I bought, and I'm not gonna say we're pretty good at that. I'm gonna say my wife is really good at that. So Haley is a certified public accountant, and she, when she got her license, she was actually the youngest person to get her license, her accounting license, in the state of Idaho that year. Anyway, so she does all of our books and stuff, and she's really good at finance and stuff. I just do the grunt work, which is cool. But these people they're like, it's not a big deal. I can just take it. I have a Google Drive account, and I made a folder in there that's titled, renovation house, or house renovation receipts. And if I go to a store that that I don't get an emailed receipt for, I'll just take a picture of it and scan it. What really pisses me off, though, is when the cashiers at Home Depot you call them out on their shit, and they're not accountable. It's just these like 30-year-old kids, people in their mid to late 20s, like too old to not like be honest. Like, so I said, when the receipt printed out, I was no more than like 1 second. My finger was about to press emailed and printed receipt, and before I did, she hands me my receipt that came off of her printer, and I look at her and I say, I wanted an emailed receipt. Why did you do that? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, it's for accounting purposes. I need an emailed receipt. I set it up on this credit card. This is my business credit card. And she says, oh, it voided this time. And I said, no, it didn't void. You voided it. You voided it. The option came up on your screen, and you voided the emailed receipt option. It was you. And she's like, I voided it. So then I said, okay, you voided it then. Then why did you lie? Why did you just tell me that it voided when you voided it? And then she said, oh, yeah. In the most lazy, lackadaisical voice, wearing her Crocs to work, in her saggy jeans and a hoodie, and a torn up hoodie, just like you're in your mid to late 20s, you're probably in your 30s, and you hey, you know what? If that's what you want to do, have fun working as, a cashier at Home Depot forever. Not that there's anything wrong with working at Home Depot. I know a lot of people that started off as cashiers and they moved up into management, and they actually pay pretty well. And it's a career. You can make a career out of it. But guess what? If you you're never gonna. I don't think it's ever okay. Look, if you work at his place, and you start at the bottom, and you work there forever and ever and ever, and you never get promoted, as long as you're starting from typically the bottom, or more entry level work, and you work there forever and ever, and you never get promoted, it's because you suck. It's probably because you're absolutely horrendous at your job, or just not bad enough to not get fired. And you know what? This world needs people like that. This world needs people who just barely don't suck enough to not get fired from their job. Somebody has to make the applesauce. I had a roommate. His name was Ramon. And you know what? Pretty nice guy. Annoyed the shit out of me because he was a bare minimum kind of guy. He came home, he ran into some hard times and stuff. So we happened to live in the same town, and he said, hey man, are you still in Caldwell? I need a place to stay for a while. I was like, yeah, sure. We got an extra room. We didn't have Harvey at that point. So yeah, he comes and lives with us for a year, pays rent, that's good for both of us. And we get to know each other a little bit better than we did in college and stuff. And so he talks about his job, and he worked for a company called Go Go Squeeze. They pay their people pretty well. I happen to know this because we would always try and get into business with them as a staffing company. And they were locked down. They didn't need staffing. And the reason they didn't need staffing is because they paid their employees a decent freaking wage. So, so he comes home and it's like, oh yeah, work was so stressful. I think I'm going to call out tomorrow. Even though there's a meeting, even though there's the mandatory operations meeting that happens once every 2 weeks or whatever. And I'm like, didn't you just tell me about how you applied for that shift leader job or that shift manager job? And he's like, oh yeah, but I don't think they consider I don't think they care about, I don't think when they're choosing who to promote, I don't think they take into account who comes to those dumbass meetings and who doesn't. And plus, I have plenty of points on my account, so they have a point system. So you can, I guess, screw up a certain amount of times before you get written up. And he had room to spare. So he thought, hey, I'll just skip the meeting. I have points to use, so I can be a screw up, X amount of times, and I'll be fine. So he skips the meeting, took on some points, and lo and behold, he didn't get the promotion. He said they didn't even interview him, and he comes home the next month, and he's all sour about it. He's moping around, and he's like, I don't know why I didn't get chosen for the promotion. I didn't even get interviewed. And I say, do you think it has anything to do with the points that you took on the meeting? How many times have you skipped out on these safety meetings, Ramon? And he says, I still have plenty of points left. It's stupid. I don't think they cared about that. News fucking flash, bro. They do care about that. They do care. So, anyways, the world needs people like that. Because guess what? Not everybody's gonna get promoted. And you know what? That lady, hey, Home Depot needs career cashiers that they never have to pay more than they did when they hired them. And Go-Go Squeeze needs people to pour the raw ingredients into the giant tub to make the applesauce that they never have to promote, that are totally content just working at the entry-level job that they acquired when they first got hired. So hey, the world needs people like that. It's natural selection. If you're gonna be stupid and not give a shit about stuff, then just fine. Hey, we need people to make the applesauce. Somebody needs to make the applesauce. All I wanted was an emailed receipt.